I kid everybody. I kid.
If he was a part of the Attitude Era of WWF, he'd be part of the corporation at this point.
What happened? What's going on here? This guy's sold out. He's going to grab his headphones and he's got Phil Collins in there or something. Like, what is going on here? Frightening. On Twitter, it's at Jay Cameron Show, and away we go. Go over to warchant.com. If you're a member, what the hell's wrong with you? Become a member. Number two, if you are a member, then you'll get to see. I don't know, Tom, when it gets posted, there's probably some editing to do. But I did a rather lengthy Ask Me Anything and answered all the questions on video there. And it was good. Oh, sound wasn't right. People didn't even get to hear the buttoned-up Director Matthew version.
You know what? It's the corporate man's fault, but it was okay. It's fine now.
All right, we're good. We're really, really good. It is nearly upon us, and I mean football. Now, Florida State is – you know what's interesting? Couple things. First time in the history of the Jeff Cameron Show. This is selfishly interesting, but I made a mental note on the drive over that this is interesting. Never in 25 years of doing this show have I ever had ice cream before it. But today I had a bowl of ice cream before I came on the air.
Really?
How about that in the middle of the day?
Okay. Was it
peanut butter chocolate?
No, I was wondering.
Well, you would have got it right. I mean, that's what I eat.
I was just wondering if it was at a vendor or if it was in the freezer at the house.
It was in the freezer at the house. And okay. I don't normally buy ice cream, but, I've got two young boys.
Yep, they're trying to bulk up.
And that's and then everybody loves ice cream. It's delicious. But so the oldest one, no matter when we go to Publix, can I stop and get ice cream? Yeah. I'm a sucker. I will always buy you ice cream or whatever, because, when I was a kid, my parents did that for me. So you got to do the right thing. So anyhow, I got him some ice cream, but then he said, it's 2 for $1.
Oh, BOGO.
So when he told me it was 2 for $1 and mentioned that he had his, which I think is some sort of strawberry thing, he goes, is there one that you would want? Awfully kind.
Well, yeah, and with your money.
Right. And I said, well, do they have chocolate peanut butter? Because that's the only ice cream that matters. And he said, it's the Tillamook, Dad. It's the Tillamook ice cream. They got 2 for $1 on the big ones, and they do have chocolate peanut butter. I said, well, then.
Oh, you struck me more as a Bluebell man.
I am not a Bluebell man. But anyhow, I'm not against it either. They want to pay me money, but it's ice cream. So the point would be that Tillamook, we got it, and we brought it home, and I hadn't had any, and I've been eating right. I've been working out at Orange Theory, been doing my thing. I got guys, you're going to see a transformation. I'm getting down. I'm going to get lean for football. Now, not Corey Clark.
Texas T lean.
He's too skinny. The scissor. But I want to get down to about 215, 210. All right. And so I'm about to get serious on this now.
It's like the quest for 8-8 in the NFL, the quest for 210.
210, man. I haven't weighed 210 since I was 19, 20 years, 18 years old, something like that. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I said, let's get there. We'll do it. But I had ice cream.
Well, that's all right. You know who can help you out with that to stay true is Eddie.
Man, he does the
Eddie is disciplined.
Well, you know what he does? Yeah, Eddie is disciplined. He does the hard 75 hard. He's got this complex where he wants to live forever. I don't want to live forever. Who the hell wants to live forever?
I'm trying to praise him, and there you go. Eddie, I got you.
Kurt writes, football season and beer will hinder your efforts, Jeffrey. Believe me, I know. Yeah, it's called the heavy season, Kurt. It is the heavy season. It's hard. Hard damn work. But I'm busier these days. I got 2 kids playing football, and I'm here and I'm there and I'm doing all that, and we've got places to be. Maybe I won't be left to my own devices. I'll always be working and moving around.
There's going to be, there always is for you in these functions, but there's going to be free beer on Friday, man. Free beer.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, you can drink beer. You just got to do all the other things right. You can't, you got to be locked in on your workouts. You got to be locked in, you sleep. Sleep's important to losing weight.
Yeah.
Very important. So you got to do all those things. I'm just, I'm glad to be busy. The kind of stuff we're busy with. You went to practice today. I did not. I had an eye appointment. You see how I'm getting all my doctor's appointments out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
We got cleaned out. We're good to go.
Yeah.
Clean bill of health, everybody. You guys have asked. I appreciate you asking. I'm good to go. My man said, don't need to see you for 10 years. Now, I know that's a lie. That's a lie. They tell you that But with the way everybody's getting colon cancer these days, I mean, you got 20-year-olds out here with colon cancer. That stinks. It's awful. I don't know, we can get into a long discussion about that. But here's the deal. What ends up happening is I think they want you to be checked out a little bit more frequently. Unfortunately for you, Tom, you came along in the wrong era.
The era of the processed food and soda
That's
for
correct.
your entire childhood. Yeah, I'm
so,
sure.
Yeah, you're going to be checked on a little bit more frequently.
Our mutual friend Cotty has offered, the lightning lane, if you will.
By the way, when I went in I'll mention this ever, they have a list of doctors, and I didn't pick the doctor. I have a main physician, primary care physician.
He looks gentle.
No. How big are your hands? So, primary care physician, right? That's what you have. And my primary care physician said, well, here's what we need you to do, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, I'll do it. Let's go set up the appointment, and I'll do it. So I didn't ask about who specifically would be doing the procedure because I don't really care as long as they're qualified. Keith's doing it. He's just a friend of mine. He's going to do it. He lives next door. He's got no training, but he's going to do it. No, so I wanted somebody to, and I get in there and they go, so do you know who's doing it? And I see Dr. Cottrell on there. I see that Keith's dad, who I know well, is on there. I go, I should have picked him. But then I thought about him. I'm glad I didn't pick him.
Right.
It'd be kind of awkward. It'd be a little bit weird. Good to see you again, Doc. Here's my ass. So, it's kind of weird. It would be a strange thing. So I'm glad I didn't. And it turned out to be somebody I didn't know, and he did a great job.
Right. That's the next time you see him, hey, eye contact. Everybody,
yeah.
Hey. Can I get you a beer, big shooter?
Oh, man. So, anyhow, that was fine. And then now I got my eyes checked. New contacts in here today. If I got a splitting headache and we go wayward, it's the new contacts. But you'll be happy, and everybody who does the production and all this will be happy. No more reflections from my glasses. Don't need them. Don't need the readers.
There you go. All right.
No problems there. We're going to be good to go. See it in my soul.
What's the name of the guy who plays Paulie in Rocky? Burt Young.
Burt Young.
I worked through
it. Yeah.
In Mickey Blue Eyes. Those glasses, the Coke bottle glasses that he had, Mickey Blue.
It's hilarious.
It's the reflection. That's what it looked like at times. And it's not your fault. It's the way that the everything's set up there.
What are you going to do?
Mickey Blue.
So what I will tell you is that I'm feeling better every day. I've got everything locked in, but now we start the process. Now we begin the process. I'm also in a good mood because the Pirates have taken the first two games of the series against the Cardinals, guaranteeing the series victory, and I hate the Cardinals, and they're in dead ass last, and it's funny. Yeah, take that, best fans of baseball. Dead ass last. Anyhow, so that's fun. Now they'll beat our ass today because I said that, but that's all right. Laser's not an option for me, guys. Appreciate you weighing in. To the team itself, Tom, how was practice today? I heard the great Jordan Travis was great.
Indeed, he was. There was a throw in 11-on-11 outside to Keon Coleman that was so good over very good coverage from Fentrell Cypress that as it was arriving.
I like every part of this sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just stop right there. You don't even have to say anything else. Jordan threw a beautiful ball to Keon Coleman, who's back kicking ass, and Fentrell Cypress had great coverage. We're done talking.
Yep, in a bucket. And it was so well thrown that as it was arriving, Mike Norvell stands with two arms to the sky. I wish they would have let us film that moment because it would have been a great photo to get of Mike celebrating the greatness that was that football play. He really was happy with practice. I watched the trenches more than the 11-on-11, but Jordan was solid the whole day through. And then our guy Braden Fisk, what do you know, made a name for himself again in 11-on-11 work.
Always does, man.
And the best rep of one-on-ones today? Jared Verse against Jeremiah Byers, and it was something to behold.
So here's the deal, man. I think that it's a wrap. Just put the game plan in and let's start slowly moving our way through here. I know there are limited practices right now. That's good. Let's just what tomorrow you got practice and then nothing on Friday that we're allowed to go to.
Yeah, exactly. Saturday night, a brief little thing. It might be in the stadium. That's my guess. It's a 7:30 to 9 o'clock. They got the new LED lighting in the stadium. They might go through some of their processes for the locker room and all that.
Are they serving beer to the press that goes?
I might bring some.
Well, there you go. I might be in for that then.
Yeah.
Little Saturday night at the
I don't know if that gets my credential revoked, but
it doesn't. Just don't bring it up again. They're not checking your bag, man. They trust us. What's in the bag?
Well,
don't worry about what's in my bag.
We go sit up in the stands.
We do sit up in the stands. We did this last year, and it was hotter than Hades, so at least they moved it to a night. Remember that last year?
we were sitting out there about to die, and it wasn't as high as it is this year.
Correct. It was much better in the spring. Spring was fun because it was Masters Week, and as I recall,
we were watching the Masters thanks to Matt.
Matt pulled up his laptop so we could watch the coverage because there was a lot of special teams that day.
I need a win this week, guys. I need a win this week. Circling back, I really did thoroughly enjoy answering the Ask Me Anything questions on the warchant.com message boards. They're called message boards, Tom. That's where they are right there.
On the TC.
On the Tribal Council.
Section TC.
Yeah. I laughed. There was a guy on there who was opposed to me being on there answering questions. He wrote, no. Where you had the spot that said, ask Jeff. Jeff will be answering questions here, the prompt. Everybody was very nice. They had things to say, questions to ask and all that. And then one guy, like halfway down, no. I was like, that's awesome. I don't even know what that is. No, Tom. No, screw Jeff. Don't put him on here. Keep him off the boards.
Hey, nobody says no to me. They can say no to you all they want.
He didn't want to be on the boards. Tell him no. Anyhow, so that made me laugh. That was good. I, because of those questions, had a reason to go down memory lane. And because some of the questions were, tailgate related stories, greatest moment inside of Doak that I can remember. It's the touchdown pass to Lawrence Dawsey in the 1990 Florida State-Florida game. And it's an electric atmosphere. It's at night. It's against Florida, and it's crazy. It's an awesome play.
We won that game, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I wouldn't pick a loss.
Well, the thing is, I think my favorite moment, just because of how fluky it was.
Oklahoma?
Yeah.
To Rashad Green.
Clint Trickett's first pass. It's a prayer. It is answered, the prayer. And Rashad House calls it. And the whole place, that whole day was amazing. Everything around the stadium, in the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
It shook that night in a way I've never felt it shake since. And in that moment, it was, oh my God. I had never seen anything or heard anything like that in the lost decade. It was a completely different experience.
So there are some losses that I've been a part of at Doak that were incredible. That's one of them, the Oklahoma game. But the Miami games of yesteryear, some of which we lost, including the wide right, were incredible. I mean, incredible. And I was also at 26-25 in 87 when we lose, and that is crushing. I mean, I was in high school, but that is crushing, that loss. I still remember the tree by which we tailgated. There's a picture of me. Speaking of being skinny, I think I'm 170 pounds. And it's my dad and some other guys that some of which are dead. I mean, times change, man. Yeah. But anyhow, yeah, that game was insane. But yeah, there was something about, I'd come back from Johnson City, Tennessee, just for this game, for the Florida State-Florida game. And I went with some friends, and it's Casey Weldon to Lawrence Dawsey. And it's a 75, 76-yard pass. And it's the second play of the game. We ran off tackle to the left on the first play. And that stadium was, it was brimming. You could tell the enthusiasm. And then, bam, downtown.
Yeah,
I love Dawsey, so.
The 2010 Florida game for me is probably the best in a win. And it wasn't even the second half where the student section, there's a catharsis in the student section where they're saying all kinds of ridiculous things. But no worse than what the Florida players were saying to each other on the sidelines, I promise you. It was the standing 8 count of stopping the fake punt, and it was Justin Bright who helps make the play. But everybody in the building is thinking, come on, finish the job. They are ready to lay down, and it's the next play. It's Ponder to Rodney Smith in the back right corner of the end zone, touchdown. And in that moment, it's off our back. We are going to a different place as a program. This is a different night. And not only did we beat them 31-7, but then, as you recall, we needed a result in the ACC in order to be able to go to Charlotte the next week. And they put that game on the screen, on the big screen. So as the players are celebrating on the field,
down on the field,
you're watching, was it Maryland? Maryland somebody?
It was Maryland, yeah.
You needed a result, and it was happening. It's just everything about that day was the exact opposite of what it was the previous 5 years.
James P., stop being a bitch 5 minutes into the show with this nonsense again. I'm going to ban your sorry ass with this nonsense. Secondly, let me just say this. Sorry, I took care of that.
That was James B.
No, it wasn't. It was James P.
I know. Yeah, there's a ban of B.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, unban him and ban Here, I'll get to it. There we go. Now fix James B. I didn't mean to do that to you, James B.
What's the most classic moment you've had in the 93.3 studios, Tom? Well, it's probably the James B banning moment.
Well, get James B back on. I apologize, James B. Have we fixed this situation? Now I feel guilty. He's missing out on the show.
Director's working on it.
He's like, you're just steady. Somebody text James B.
Who gave Jeff the ban hammer?
I've got the ban hammer
Damn
at all
it!
times. At
Get
all
the hammer
times.
away from him.
I didn't mean to do that to you, James B. James B's like, what have I
Well,
done?
he's typing right now. Nobody can see it is what's happening.
What have I done? Yeah.
I know the way to fix this. We'll do it in the break, James B. You hang tight.
He can't hear you.
Oh, he can hear.
Oh.
It's about commenting. He can't. Yeah. These are two different functions.
Friday. What are we doing Friday? We're going to be a Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Let's get this out here. Let's get the show on the road, everybody. Here we go. This Friday from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, we're getting together at Corner Pocket Bar and Grill if you're in Tallahassee, Florida. That's on Appalachian Parkway. It's an all-timer. We will be there in celebration of you guys. It is the Listener Appreciation Party, okay? I see his E-Chan. I'll get to it. It's the Listener Appreciation Party. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a blast, and we're going to be giving away T-shirts. How many do we give away?
We've got under 150.
Oh, buddy.
You got to be ready to go.
The Vernon Company came strong.
Yes, they
These
did.
shirts are awesome. They will be delivered on Friday. We will hand them out, and I look forward to it. We'll be having a conversation, a few drinks, and a good time will be had by all.
Yes, and much of the tab for your drinks will be picked up by our friends at the Battle's End for this event. So there will be more details. Frankly, I need to talk to Bill Hayes, the owner of the Corner Pocket, to see what exactly will be gratis. But the Battle's End says, hey, we've got a budget, and we want people to have some drinks on us. Just remember us when the time comes at the Battle's End, that if you like good players, remember that time we got you some free drinks.
It's the easiest thing in the world, too, by the way, guys. And they got a golf tournament coming up. The Battle's End does. James B., you're back. Sorry about that. The golf tournament in Orlando, Tom, we need to promote that for our friends at the Battle's End. We're going to do that here today because you guys, there's an opening in here, and I think you're going to save some money and get in there and play this
a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Because you're hooked up with us, and we want to do the right thing by the Battle's End. It's been a pleasure working with them, of course. And by the way, yeah, like Tom just said, if you like good players, then you're going to thank the Battle's End because retention was a big deal. And then also acquisition turned out to be a big deal too.
I believe this year, just looking at the roster and thinking about the NFL futures of so many Florida State Seminoles that'll be on the field 2 Sundays from now against LSU. A lot of NFL futures on that field. A lot next year. I think acquisition might be a larger part of the pie
next year
for the 2024 Noles than retention. I think that's the way that budget will swing.
Can I just say that one of the things we're already seeing is the situation with the improvement of high school recruiting.
Acquisition.
That is acquisition, but it's a different kind of acquisition.
Sure.
We've acquired talent in the portal forever.
Yeah.
Or since it's, been around. And now we're acquiring talent that Alabama thought they were going to get, that Georgia certainly thought they were going to get.
Multiple ways.
It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Discover seasonal sensations full of passion and flavor at Café de Martín and El Bar, a one-of-a-kind culinary and cocktail concept created by classically trained chef Martín Araujo. This summer, escape to your own Peruvian paradise in the capital city and experience handcrafted, colorful, refreshing cocktails like the Chilcano de Maracuyá, made with authentic pisco, mixed with lime juice, passion fruit, a splash of ginger ale, and bitters. Or enjoy a classic pisco sour made from grapes produced in the nutrient-rich rich lands of Peru. At Café de Martín and El Bar, everything is handmade from fresh ingredients con amor y pasión, with love and passion. From the moment you open the doors, you're immersed in the culture and transported to Tallahassee's only upscale Peruvian culinary experience, full of surprises with every dish and every drink. It's Café de Martín and El Bar on Capitol Circle Northeast in the Esposito Shopping Center. Open Monday through Saturday for lunch, happy hour, and dinner. Online at cafedemartin.com.
Hello, Leon County. Let's get ready to win with Ken. I'm Ken Preston. I want to be your next Leon County property appraiser. I'm driven, committed, experienced, and a dedicated community servant. I'm ready to put my experience as a former property appraiser to work to help make a difference for the people of Leon County. Let's go to work. Vote for me. Ken Preston for Leon County Property Appraiser 2024. Win with Ken. A political advertisement by Ken Preston for Leon County Property Appraiser.
Whidden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Whidden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Whidden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Whidden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Whidden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
If you've been considering getting a new hot tub or upgrading your existing hot tub, now's the absolute best time to do it. Hot Spring Spas has the jets on full blast, and the prices right now have never been hotter. You can find huge savings at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas, and we mean huge. For a limited time, you can get up to $5,000 off in instant discounts and rebates, plus 60 months no interest financing for qualified buyers. You heard that right, $5,000 in discounts. And that's not all. When you buy a hot spring spa from Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas, you'll get a free consultation to determine the best placement in your yard for installation, a free accessory of your choice, and install can be completed in just a matter of days. It's the most aggressive rebate program that's ever been available to buyers from Hot Spring Spas. So stop by Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas on Greer Road today to check out their 12,000 square foot showroom with over 50 hot tubs on site. If you're ready to relax, Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas is ready to show you how.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future. We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
Moment. You know, I think it's good to take time here to reflect on how camp has been run. I mean, we are not all that far away from playing this football game. Basically, you get through this week, and even through this week is a bit of a stretch. I mean, they're on the other side of the second scrimmage now. They are prepping for LSU, and as they should be. And I just wondered with I think level of competition and the number of battles for jobs, et cetera, that there were going to be on the line coming into camp, what this camp would look like. I tend to side with those that believe, and again, I'm older, so it makes sense that I would, but I think it's accurate to say, coaches say this too, by the way. It's not just me, coaches, but they have to adhere to the newer rules. The practices these days are not nearly as hard as they used to be. So when you hear a coach say things like, well, we it was a grueling day, it was a tough day, not comparatively speaking. But I do think for the modern player who's never been through those old days, some days are a lot tougher than others. But I wondered to what degree they would hit, how often they would hit, how often they'd hit, like go live for everybody not named Jordan Travis. Like how often would you let guys get taken to the ground? How often would you let guys come up and lay the wood, like play football, play real football? Because that really does reveal a lot. And when you're trying to distinguish between a starter and a backup, and the degree is infinitesimal, it can be the thing that helps you decide. And this guy's tougher coming up against the run. This guy's tougher play out when we're live. He shows a little bit more grit. This guy's got better technique and tackling if it's a defensive player, whatever it might be. And, you might say this guy's intangibles are equal. These two guys run the same time. They're about the same weight. They're both very gifted. They're both going to contribute. How do I discern who's the starter and who isn't? And a lot of times when you're playing big boy football in pads in which everybody's live, that teaches you what you need to know.
Yeah, agreed. And I think this team at this point, I hate to use the cliche, but it is what it is in a good way.
Yeah.
I know what my concerns are. They've crystallized into a couple of places for concerns. And a lot of the hard part is, for example, one of those concerns is interior of the offensive line against better defensive fronts, like they'll see against LSU and Clemson the first month.
Correct.
I think if you're looking for a weakness on the offense, that's where you go. Is it a startling weakness? No. But I'd like to know what Braden Fisk is against an LSU offensive line and a Clemson offensive line. If he's dominant against everybody that we play, 12 games this season, then that means our offensive line, and then the interior especially, is pretty good. Pretty good. Because they hold up Braden from time to time, but there are other moments where a player like him or a Farmer, or Daryl Jackson certainly, and you go, man, okay, is that a function of those players being truly gifted, or is it a combination of those guys are good and we could be a little bit better in that specific area? When you go head to head every day, you just can't know. You just can't know.
Yeah, there is always a blind spot waiting on you when you only watch one team practice day in and day out, and this is the fear every coach has. And certainly when we're asked to give opinions about what a team can be or cannot be, you are juxtaposing that with the understanding that I'm not watching Ohio State's practice. I'm not there to see Georgia play. It would be eye-opening to go to those practices in a good and bad way. I think there'd be areas of those, and this is how you know you've come a long way. If tomorrow they plopped Tom down and me down and the rest of the group here that analyzes these practices at a Georgia practice or a Florida practice or a USC practice, whomever, Texas, we'd see things where we'd say, wow, they're a little bit more skilled at this segment group than us. They've got an opportunity to probably exploit in different ways than we do here. And then there'd be other areas where you're like, oh, wow, Florida State is miles ahead of them in this, and this.
There's a part of me that believes that Florida State is miles ahead in many areas relative to its competition, but you can't know that yet. So even though I believe that might be the case,
we can't know it until they play.
You've got a couple of areas that when we play first quarter against LSU, I'm going to be looking at this when the offense is on the field and that when the defense is on the field. Let's see how they stack up.
I had a question in the AMA that was about basically it was offensive and defensive line stuff, or where am I going to be looking closely when the game starts to try to get answers that I can't get being at practice. And I said, listen, against an SEC team, it's always the line of scrimmage. It's always only the line of scrimmage. Here's why. And coaches in that league will tell you this. Skill position players are found all over America. They're everywhere. Group of 5, Power 5, superstar top 10 caliber teams to teams not ranked. I can find you. Look at Boston College, how many receivers and corners and players they've had that went on to the league and are really good players where you're like, that kid's going to be a star. It exists everywhere. You can, because of 7-on-7, year-round training, you can find receivers, you can find corners, you'll find elite running backs all over the country, no matter the caliber of the program. What you never find in why the SEC rules college football, specifically why the SEC rules college football more than any other conference anywhere, is the depth of offensive and defensive line talent year in and year out. It's not just that the starting five's good, it's that the backups are good, it's that they have a plethora of really uniquely gifted and very big offensive and defensive linemen. When I said last year, Tom, and Ira and I would argue about this till we're blue in the face, Georgia would have lined up against FSU in that playoff and run roughshod over Florida State. They would have beat that defensive line's ass. They would have. It would have been violent and nasty. And I will argue that to no end. And I hate saying it. I don't like it. But that was an area where immediately I thought we wouldn't be able to overcome that. They would run violently and frequently at that defensive line last year, as composed because of injury and various other reasons, as it was comprised, I should say, at the end of last year. Florida State had zero chance to get stops against that Georgia team. So the question was, when you go from last year to this year, will they? Well, let's find out. We get the test right off the bat against LSU, who I suspect is going to test your defensive line and say, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. And I think the answer is going to be a resounding, we got a lot. We got a lot. We're good, man. We're good. You're going to need to do some other things. Now, whether that's true in week 9, I don't know. But in week 1, I think the answer is yes. We are man enough, big enough, strong enough, deep enough, talented enough there.
Yeah, I would agree, especially on the defensive line for the SEC. I think that if you go top to bottom in either division,
I agree with
they've
that.
got more defensive line talent. Offensive line's a fickle thing. It even is in the NFL.
Comes and goes, of course.
Nobody's got backups in the NFL that could play any offensive line. There's at any given time, the 32 teams in the NFL, I'm not saying 160. I'm saying there's probably 125 good offensive linemen in the NFL.
Maybe less. Maybe less.
At any given moment. Think about that.
It's a hard position to stay healthy at. It's a hard position. By the way, nowadays, it's a lot more difficult to find guys that are plug-and-play offensive linemen in NFL systems than it was in yesteryear, because they don't practice it the same way they used to, and they don't run the offenses the same way they used to. So it's really fascinating. You get a lot of guys who aren't capable of coming into the league and just being as dominant as they were in college, not because of the physical detriment, but because of the systems.
I would agree with you, but even now that the NFL is integrating a lot of college systems.
They absolutely are.
And it's graduating up. It used to trickle down to how it graduates up because they don't have answers. They can't run 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Even still, like most times, if you're down 2 offensive linemen in a given week in the NFL, you're done. Like you've got little to no chance.
You're in huge trouble unless you've got a magic man like Mahomes,
right,
who can make mistakes go away.
And I think to a degree that's the case in college football as well. Yeah, the Havs have maybe 7 or 8 good offensive linemen at any given time. We're one of those.
We're one of those
year.
finally.
But you don't have. Remember the Cowboys' offensive line from 5-6 years ago, or the Raiders' offensive line early in Carr's career, and you're thinking these guys are just maulers, all of them left to right.
San Francisco currently, yeah.
I mean, A&M, actually Jimbo had one of those a couple of years ago. There aren't a whole lot of them where you say that offensive line is without a doubt the strength of the football team.
Alabama's had a bunch of them.
They did.
They had a long stretch with Landon, Dickerson and all them. Those guys, those were grown-ass men.
I would say 1.0 Saban, those eras did as well, because they had awful
they had no
quarterbacks.
They didn't need one.
But they didn't need one because their offensive line was that good.
Well, they had a Heisman candidate at running back, and a bunch of them. They had all-world receivers. All you needed was a guy not to lose the game at quarterback.
Yeah.
No, I just, that's the area you're always going to stare down at the start of these games. Can you be violent and stand up against the run, a downhill rushing attack against an SEC team when you're not part of it, when you're not in that league? That's what you want to see. Now, I think the answer is going to be yes to that. It's one of the reasons I like Florida State in the game. I think they will be able to do that. So, I think they'll block it up as well.
There was a really good rep today in 101s from Keandre Jones against Darrell Jackson. I have not seen Darrell Jackson get handled like that maybe in all of camp. And that's what's in Keandre, for example, in short yardage. You just look at that body type. He is a stout SEC offensive lineman, played at Auburn, played a bunch at Auburn. So he's not scared by somebody being a massive dude across from him. He sees those every week. But I like having the options that Florida State has. Mike Norvell said on Sunday after the scrimmage they have 8 that they trust. I think it's going to be 10 before long. I think they'll have 10 guys. The question I have is, with the three tackles, the three principal guys that we like, and Robert Scott and Bless Harris and Jeremiah Byers,
which one's going to guard?
is it worth the risk to put one of them at guard too? Because do you like your fourth tackle option? What are they better served with having a primary tackle in case of emergency and leaving that guy fresh on the sideline, or rotating two of them in and out as the game goes along, than they are moving a guy inside? I'm starting to waver on the answer to that. Is the juice worth the squeeze to move your third tackle? Because I don't know that I feel great about tackle 4, tackle 5 right now.
I don't feel great about tackle 4, tackle 5. I do think we have 3 legit, very good tackles. A fourth that would be adequate.
I think Darius can help you and be adequate, but the problem is he's your Swiss Army knife at center as well, so that would not be ideal.
It's an interesting situation, but one that I'm really buoyed by, because it was 2 years ago, man, that you barely had 5 that you thought you could run out there and play and feel good about. So you didn't have an offensive line, is what we were saying. You had guys you could get by with that, had to play. And now we're debating about shuffling guys that if they started at their regular positions would be very good, and wondering if you're better off with them as in a secondary position because of their talent. But if not, that's okay. I've got a locked and loaded starter on my bench, that a guy that would start anywhere in this league, and maybe most of the SEC, at a very critical position. Not like a right guard, but a starting tackle.
And I will say, I know that now that we're on the other end of it, they talked openly about Robert Scott, management, and all that kind of stuff. I've been very impressed. They have 3 starters, legitimate starters at tackle. There's no qualifiers. There's no, I don't know. They have 3 starters at tackle, and I don't know how they're going to manage it, but I'm glad that they have that issue to manage.
I'm just going to be watching the defensive front against the LSU's offensive line. Then from there, we'll work out. From there. I'm just going to watch that early. If that's stout against the run and you can't line up and run the ball against us, and now it's 2nd and long and 3rd and medium or long every time you try, you're changing and dictating terms of the game that benefit greatly. Now, again, getting that kid on the ground is tough. So I love that we have a Verse. I love that we have a Peyton. I love that Gilbert Edmonds had a good camp. I love that we have guys inside that can win one-on-ones and pressure the passer up the gut in Braden Fisk. I love that, right? But he's still a handful. He's still a guy that, Ira said it yesterday, that he was talking to one of the coaches about Jaden Daniels, and they mentioned in the game last year that even though on film they'd seen him, we'd all seen him before, that they didn't realize just how fast he was. They knew he was athletic. They'll make you miss in a phone booth, as they say, but they didn't realize how fast he really was until he ran past them on the sideline. He broke contain, got outside, and turned the corner, and there was the sound when he ran by that you hear. You tend to hear it with one of our running backs hits the corner.
Yeah.
That sound changes the way you view the game. You're like, whoa, okay. Got that kind of, what for do you?
There was, I remember the time that we saw Marcus Mariota in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
And it was the first half, and it was a situation where it looked like it was going to be a score fest. It wasn't like we lose. It wasn't anything like that, but it was, Jalen and Derwin have a chance here to make a play. Jalen specifically in the corner. You know how quick he is. He wasn't close.
No. Yeah. Mariota had legit jets.
You'd say, all right, that's a gain of 6, and it's 12. Because he's got the corner, like, all right, that's 6, 2nd and 4. Oh, okay, 12 yards.
I remember being pissed. I was like, man.
Okay. That's what you kind of shuffle on your seat uncomfortably.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Think how many times Dalvin did that to people. Imagine how many times defenses thought they had the angle, got beat. Happens. You're adjusting to person's speed that you have not seen in practice. You don't know. Early in games, all teams have to deal with that. Okay, he's a little bit quicker than I thought. Oh, he got the angle on me there. Okay. But then there's that moment where you're like, oh, no, that is a different kind of speed here. Can't really account for this.
You know who's got that too? Destin.
Yeah.
There was a play today where he's getting the corner, and it goes from 3rd gear to 5th. It's almost like you skip 4th. And it's just, you better get that kid on the ground now, because if you don't, you're not going to. It's that pressure that it puts on somebody who's in a one-on-one situation, and you're probably 40-60 to make the tackle, but I've got to make it. And you can see that when it happens, the pressure on a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they'll falter because now they're domed up. Speed can dome you up, and Destin's got it. I'll tell you another guy that today in one-on-ones, Jaheim Bell. I thought it was Hakeem Williams or Toafili because it was a single-digit number. And I know he's a giant human being, and you couldn't confuse him with Toafili, but the speed. And I see the single digit. I go, oh, okay, Hakeem. And it was 6. I go,
you don't want any part of that, man.
Goodness gracious.
You don't want any part of that. That guy is a nightmare. I've talked about it from the standpoint of anybody who has to come up and tackle that. And then also the athleticism to make plays, adjusting his body middle of the field. One guy comes up, bounces off that's a touchdown. He's a difference maker, and he's going to be a huge difference maker all year long. Could be the star of this game. Because they have to pick their poison, and he could be the star of this game.
That is okay. So we've done prize pick stuff in years past. This team is impossible on offense to do a prize picks for. It's impossible. Like if you get to the receiver category, and here's Johnny Wilson over under 64.5 yards. Here's Keon Coleman 47.5 yards. Jaheim Bell 45.5 yards.
I'm not
you
can't
can't touch it.
I'm glad we're talking gambling. You're damn right I'm talking gambling. But we got to go to break. But I'm just going to say, I think that it's probably unwise. So word for the wise. It's rather unwise to bet Florida State props this year.
Yeah.
Because they can win the game any way you want to play it. If you decide you're taking away the pass, we're going to run the ball all day long. And if you want to take that away, they got so many different guys that they can exploit a matchup, and it's game to game. So you think you got a handle on Johnny Wilson or Keon Coleman, and it's Jaheim Bell's day. Then you work on taking Jaheim Bell away. Well, it could be Jordan with his legs that day. A lot of things that you really just can't account for, and it makes it hard to really pinpoint a bet.
No, I think the only things that you can prop on are team totals or first half team totals. If you're feeling good and you just think they can't set the number high enough, that's the approach I would take, because Jordan could throw for 350 or run for 140. Trey Benson could run for $120 or run for 30. And 3 touchdowns. You just don't know. It's impossible.
Jordan could have, Jordan's up and downs are going to be amazing. And by up and down, I mean just in terms of compiling numbers, not in performance. Because he's patient enough to just say, okay, well, today's not a day that I throw for 330. They're taking it away. We're going to run the ball and dink and dunk, and we'll be fine.
He also, I understand that he's in a non-contact jersey, but we saw this towards the end of the season, and I think he's gotten better at it. When he's out in the open field and contact is coming, you can tell he's already prepped mentally for how to get down, when to get down, and to avoid any wear and tear that's unnecessary.
Well, we don't, the season's on the line. Let's go ahead and get down. Those 2 yards don't matter, unless they do. Unless it's the fourth quarter and we're tied and it's a huge moment. Other than that, up 24 against BC ain't the time to dive for that first down, Jordan. We're going to be all right. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
Amazon is now operating its newly built fulfillment center in Tallahassee. An Amazon spokesperson said the company is continuing to hire more employees and that the pay starts at $16 an hour. Employees also get access to Amazon's Career Choice program, which gives them prepaid tuition at Tallahassee Community College. At last check, there aren't any jobs listed on Amazon's website for the Tallahassee location, but the company will be updating the website as they open new positions. Superintendent Rocky Hanna said he plans to make changes at Gene Cox Stadium after Friday night's football game was shut down at halftime. There were reports of shots fired at the Leon versus Rickards football game. The person was rumored to be in possession of a gun, leading to people running out of the stadium. Deputies did not hear any shots fired, but a joint decision was made to stop the game for safety. Hanna met with other officials Monday afternoon to discuss possible changes and how they can prevent this incident from happening again. This is Rachel Anay with Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by McLemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at McLemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A heat advisory continues until 8 p.m. tonight. Slight chance for scattered thunderstorms this afternoon, otherwise mainly sunny. Highs around 99, northeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight, slight chance for scattered storms, lows around 74. 96 tomorrow, mainly sunny skies and calm. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 97.
What do you need tires on? Your car or truck, tractor or heavy equipment? At Nice Tire and Auto Service, we have tires for all of these needs. And we service your vehicle from air conditioning and computerized alignment to oil changes and everything else under the hood. Call Nice Tire and Auto today at 574-4100. That's 574-4100 for your scheduled maintenance. National accounts welcome at Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
So everybody knows, Eddie, that you are a spectacular cook. Of course they know that. If they go into Bumpa's, the food is always good. I mean, everything on the menu. Everything at Gordo's is delicious. I always, of course, get the bungalow chungla, as I call it.
The bungalow chung, Jeff.
Is that what is the pork?
The bungalow chung, Jeff.
Okay, the bungalow chungla. It's delicious. All these things, all the items, everything you do, a master cook. But, sir, I would ask you, what is a skill that you possess that you're particularly proud of that nobody would know and that you could share with us here?
Growing hair, Jeff. Growing hair.
You're an asshole. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
I need to take a look at those that I've overlooked. Dustin wrote first drink on me this weekend, fellas. Get a couple games in before our season begins. Football is finally here. Go Noles. Of course, Z-Chan wrote in memory of James B. We love you, man. Even if Jeff doesn't, I have no problem with James B. I was trying to ban James P. I just couldn't deal with that nonsense today or yesterday or the day before.
Old Dustin asked one of my favorite questions in a press conference ever. This is 10 years ago, 11 years ago, asking Jimbo, could you use Greg Reed on offense? And Jimbo was like, well, I mean, you know. And Dustin goes, because it'd be pretty cool. And Jimbo was like, yeah.
Because it would be pretty cool is the best part of that.
Yeah.
And the things in which we do.
We got a lot of good players on offense now. It's like, well, but Greg is pretty special.
Garnet Gold Glory writes, anyone else want a Mickey Andrews interview? I'd love to know what he thinks about this year. You know, I sat over at, where did we do that event? I did it. Oh, Madison Social. I sat and did an interview. It was me and Mickey Andrews and Eric Llewellyn, and we did an event over there a while back. And Mickey Andrews was the guest of honor.
Almost 10 years ago now.
I think it is, yeah. And I was able to talk with him and before and after that interview, and it was a lot of fun. And he's just a great guy to talk to. Mickey has not come around as much this camp.
Spotted him once.
Yeah. Oh, he was out there, but he has not been around as much this camp as he has been in the past. So I don't know. I don't know how he feels about this team, but he's always fun to talk football with. I know that. And I know he's beloved.
Secondhand information, but Ira told me that he asked Mastromano if he knows that he can run past the line of scrimmage now. Does he understand that rule? Like, good-natured, but he wanted to go find Alex to ask him, hey, man, you can keep with the ball?
So Mike Norvell spoke at the quarterback club meeting last night, and I'm sure that was a huge hit. And as somebody who did the introductions for the quarterback club meetings for a long time, or for a number of years, I must say that are you guys laughing about any ladies in the chat?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
That is really well done. And just your mom is a good response too.
Our ass is in the jackpot now, okay?
But that crowd is always ready for a fired up coach, and I'm sure he was. That's another aspect that we haven't talked as much about. Maybe we'll get into that next hour. Everything's the build up to the season now, but the way Mike, so we've learned valuable lessons going back to Jimbo, certainly with Willie, we learned this lesson big time. And I think with Mike to some degree as well, how you talk about a team to your alumni base, your booster base, your supporters of any kind is important.
If you're Jimbo, you got to do it.
Yeah, you actually have to bother to show up and do it. That's right. But how you describe your team, whether you raise expectations or temper expectations, then, it's important because you want to obviously undersell and overdeliver. But it's hard to do with this team. It's hard to undersell this team and overdeliver with this team. Everybody knows you got dudes, real dudes. And that's why I said, I'll keep saying it. 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you, Adam Fuller. Jeez. This team has players. No, and Tom, you also have the right secondary coach, which you didn't have a year ago. So you went out and got a guy. There's real talent on the back end. You're loaded up front. First-round draft pick coming off the edge. Man, I'll be out there half-stepping at him. Hour number 2, forthcoming.
Attention radio listeners, this is a Foodies Takeout and Delivery new restaurant alert. Now available for takeout and delivery from foodiestakeout.com. The Hawthorne Bistro, Jerry's Love on a Plate, Coach's Pizza, Munchie's Pizza, Red Eye Coffee, Lofty Pursuits, OG Subs, Dave's Pizza Garage, Sakura Sushi, and many more. Find a complete list of locally owned restaurants offering takeout and delivery at foodiestakeout.com. That's foodiestakeout.com. Don't just shop local, order local.
Tax-free days are over everywhere but Fulmer's, that is. Now through Labor Day, we're going to pay the sales tax on everything you're buying at Fulmer's. And to keep it simple, Fulmer's will pay the sales tax on everything at both locations: bikes, TVs, lawn equipment, tools, watches, jewelry, laptops, and Apple products. If it's in our store, you'll buy it and pay no tax. You'll pay no tax on many items that are already marked down, some as much as 70% off. Hurry to either Fulmer's location and pay no tax through the end of the month.
Fulmer's, more than you might expect.
With 2 great locations. This is Alex from Fulmer's. We've been buying gold and silver jewelry, fine watches, and other collectibles for over 45 years. But did you know Fulmer's buys and sells gold and silver coins, bars, and bullion? Don't get scammed online or pay high shipping and handling fees. Call or stop by Fulmer's for a quick and easy quote. No matter if you're new to investing in bullion or have been collecting a lifetime, Fulmer's is your local source for buying, selling gold and silver coins and bullion. Fulmer's, more than you might expect, with 2 great locations.
I'm Stephanie, and I work for Paul's Termite and Pest Control. I've been working here for over 11 years, and to say making the switch to Paul's has been life-changing is an understatement. First, we provide a service that truly helps people protect the health of their families and pets from disease-carrying bugs and rodents, plus their homes from destructive termites. So when I go to work every day, what I do really makes a difference. Second, I have grown professionally in the company. I was hired by Paul's in customer service, and now I'm the customer service leader. While my responsibilities have grown, so have my pay and benefits. It's such a blessing to work with friends doing something that helps people, plus being well paid. If you're in a job that provides minimal pay and satisfaction, we have openings right now. Paul's employees receive many benefits like CHP, 401k, paid vacations, and holidays. We work Monday through Friday and provide extensive training so no experience is required. Call today to learn how we can improve your life.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee. The latest betting odds and live movements from Vegas. This is your action update. Now here are your latest lines from our guys in the desert.
Braves and Mets meet at Truist Park today. Charlie Morton on the mound for Atlanta, $1.85 favorite. It's Jose Quintana pitching for the Mets plus 170, 9.5 under the total at Truist Park. The Tampa Bay Rays in action today at home of the Rockies. A $3.70 favorite. Aaron Savali for the Rays, 6-3, 2.44 ERA. Austin Gomber for the Rockies, 9-9, a 5.52 earned run average. Rockies plus 230, 8 flat the total at Tropicana Field. NASCAR Cup Series wraps up its regular season at Daytona Saturday night. Chase Elliott, the 11-1 favorite. Get your free VSiN subscription right now at VSIN.com. For more sports betting news and information, go to VSIN.com. Mike Son at Real Talk 93.3.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Yeah, whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
50% off everything has arrived at Banana Republic Factory for a limited time. Explore end of summer savings on reimagined classics, fall ready styles, and more. Only at your nearest Banana Republic Factory store.
It can happen easily. A few drinks becomes a few too many. It's time to go and you think of calling for a ride home. Nah, what's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
I'm Caleb. I'm the lawn supervisor at Paul's Termite and Pest Control, and I really do love my job. Paul's has created an incredible work environment that always puts our customers' needs first. Their needs are our concerns, and my particular job of improving the health of North Florida lawns is something I truly enjoy. I'm an outdoor person, and I get to be outside all day, watching the lawns run through the stages full of weeds to weedless to lush, grass-filled landscapes is very rewarding. I'm proud to represent Paul's.
I'm Jay. Having the privilege to work with people like Caleb and all of our employees is truly an honor. There is no doubt that the staff of Paul's Termite and Pest Control is the best in our industry. All of our people are local, and local really does mean something. We are North Floridians. Our kids go to school here. We shop here. We build relationships here, and we honor our commitments. To all of our customers, thanks for trusting us to protect your family, pets, and home.
For the elimination of termites, any other pests, and a greener lawn too, call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Power Mill Training Academy equips motivated athletes focused on baseball and softball with the specific tools to reach their true potential. Now, you'll read that if you go to their website, but I'm here to tell you that, look, whether it's your daughter wanting to play softball, your son wants to play baseball, or maybe they just want to have fun and get the most out of their abilities, and that's where Power Mill comes into play. They've got coaches and camps that teach for every level of play for your son or your daughter. To learn more, go to PowerMillSports.com. We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
horrifically cold winter that makes people uncomfortable and sad.
We just want to hang out watching Army and Navy, you and me, checking out that classic ball game, thinking about the playoff game that we're going to be a part of in 3 weeks' time from that kickoff. That's where we want to be. 22-degree wind chill. Yeah, buddy.
Jacksonville State and UTEP Saturday, 5:30. Getting my bet angle ready during the break right there. Navy, Notre Dame, live from Ireland. Aviva Stadium, been there, done that. Good times. Good place to watch a football game. And those Irish will be crazy in Dublin for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. You are minus 21. Lest we forget, and maybe you did, Notre Dame 35, Navy 32 last year.
They do have Sam Hartman now, though. He's not going to be running a mesh offense with 6 seconds to make a decision.
Good God almighty.
But one would think that is a market improvement for Notre Dame's offense, and they'll be able to control the game a little bit more.
Kind of an important year for Mr. Freeman.
It is, yeah.
Let's see them take care of business against teams they're supposed to take care of business against.
So here's something for you just to see where your head's at. In December, week 2, the second weekend.
Skipping to December.
Well, it's Army-Navy Saturday, but that also is the day of the Heisman Trophy. I will actually be in Manhattan for my wife's holiday party. Her company's based out of New York. You think I'll be dispatched to cover Jordan Travis, the Heisman finalist, that day?
I don't.
You don't think he's going to make it to New York?
No. Okay. Not because of him.
Well,
I just...
You doubt him again.
I don't doubt him at all. And one of the reasons, and here's my favorite part, I just think he's smart with the football these days. He's not about the glory. He doesn't care. He's just going to take what they give him. There'll be days where he's the best player on the field by a lot, and he'll do some special things, but there's a combination of things that are going against him when it comes to Heisman numbers. And the Heisman's a stupid award. It's tomfoolery. It's become this situation where you have to be a quarterback to win it, just about, or a running back or receiver. You can't be a defensive player, that's for sure. And also, it's nebulous. Who's the best player in college football? Well, that's not what they mean. They don't mean that. They mean who's the best player on the most high-profile team whose team won a bunch of football games that a lot of people saw. It's not really who's the best player, and football is the ultimate team sport, and you really can't discern who is the best player in college football. Because if I'm a dominant defensive tackle, I could be the biggest problem on the field every single Saturday. That every coach there knows I'm the biggest issue. It's like when teams had to figure out a way to deal with Lawrence Taylor. You know, Lawrence Taylor was a monster. Reggie White was a monster. But those two guys could have never won the Heisman. They changed games in a way that no offensive player could in a given year. But they would have had zero chance under the way that voters look at the Heisman now. No chance. And we've watched it time and again. It's why I've always been impressed, with Marvin Jones and what happened with him in the Heisman voting. But we've just seemingly gotten further and further and further removed from other players at different positions having a chance to win that award. Okay, I digress. I will just say that because Florida State is going to blow some teams out, a lot of them, I think, he's going to be sitting for a lot of those games midway through the third quarter, or certainly through all of the fourth quarter.
I agree with you there. Jameis did that too in 2013.
He was also the most efficient quarterback for the most efficient offense. And if you talk about yards and points per possession and all those numbers that even though they played at a snail's pace, it was one of the most prolific and proficient offenses ever to take a college football field.
It was. And it was statistically it was, period.
Yeah.
At the time. It set records, and yet we didn't run many plays. It's crazy. But I would say that Jordan has an opportunity. I think first impressions are so important for the Heisman voters because it is fickle the way you say. And let's say that Jordan throws for a combined 600 yards in the games against LSU and Clemson. I think he can rack up a lot on the way to 600 against LSU if they do, in fact, have secondary issues.
Yeah.
And these are both nationally televised games. I'm assuming that the Clemson one could be a game day setting up there for ESPN, so you have the extra spotlight on that kickoff. Might be on ABC. Don't know that yet for sure. But you go through that month, and Florida State is 4-0. Let's just take the pie in the sky view, and Jordan Travis is the centerpiece of all of that.
Yeah,
I don't know how impressive he has to be for the next 8 games, because now he's automatically a finalist because he's the darling of the country.
Yeah, but you do know that, for example, USC is going to have a great season. Caleb Williams is a much more high-profile quarterback than Jordan Travis. He's already won the award. He's in Lincoln Riley's offense. They throw the ball a gazillion times. He's going to have unreal numbers, as every quarterback that played for Riley at Oklahoma had. And so it's things like that that will discern. You said get to New York.
Yes,
okay,
I'm saying finalist. I'm not saying winner.
I'll take it back. He could get to New York. And yes, I think this offense is going to be prolific. But who's responsible? Well, listen, we get into a greater discussion here that's kind of fun. Is there any such thing as a game manager at quarterback? Well,
in the pros, yeah.
In the pros, I think there is. I think there are people who would counter that, would say, well, all offensive coordinators are going to play to their strengths. And if there are weaknesses that will not allow your quarterback to sit back and throw the ball 40 times a game and amass numbers, then you're going to tell him we're running the ball, throwing off a play action. And if you're 18 for 26 with 1 touchdown and 1 pick and 200 yards, we're going to be fine. Now, is he a game manager because that's how you have to play, or is that the way you were told to play because your strengths don't lie with either pass pro or you don't have a bevy of receivers or whatever it is? I know how the argument works. But for Jordan, where this comes into play, there are going to be games where we just run the ball down people's throat, where he just is asked to turn and hand the ball off. We're going to beat this team like a drum. They cannot withstand our rushing attack. The offensive line's too good. We're going to reset the line of scrimmage by 4 yards on every snap. Why would we put the ball in the air and put it at risk? Jordan, you're going to have a very pedestrian 14 for 22, $189 and 3 touchdowns. It'll be nice, but $189 is going to hurt your yardage total that day. All right? Or, whatever that might be. There are going to be days where somebody's decided we are taking away the run. We are just not going to get beat that way. We'll take our chances in the passing game because it's a little windy, and maybe we think you can't, repeatedly hit guys in these conditions. And we have a decent pass rush. So we're going to do that. All right, well, those will be the days that Jordan Travis throws for 3 bills and 4 touchdowns, and we're all like, there it is. But the next week, you're just running roughshod over people, and it's dink and dunk, and you're running the ball, and he's out of the game in the middle of the third quarter because it's 37-6.
Yeah, I hear you. And it has to be about our win and loss record to get him there if this is the case where there's a fluctuation. And there can be. I totally agree with you. There will be weeks where he maybe runs for nearly as many yards as he throws. I really believe that. He could have 157 passing yards and 122 rushing yards, 3 total touchdowns, and he's out of the game in the third quarter. You could see that happen. But if we do win the 2 key games in September, they're both going to be such national storylines and huge moments.
Yeah.
Caleb's already won the thing, so people are bored with that storyline. Is it wrong? He might be better than Jordan. He might produce more, but I think the fatigue factor is there, gives Jordan an opportunity. And you have the chance. That first weekend's not a great slate of football. It's not a great slate of football games. We're the best one. It's not even close.
Oh, yeah. It showcase, have a great night. Well, listen, last year, Jordan Travis had a coming out party. Yeah. The new version of Jordan Travis was on display last year in this game. It changed the way that everybody thought about Jordan Travis moving forward. Not even his greatest advocates thought that was what was about to be on display. And that's the first thing I said to you in the post-game wrap when I, obviously was on video with you and Gene after the game from the stadium. I was so excited. I was like, look at what he was tonight. This is everything they threw at him. No problems. He was ready to roll. It was like, bring it on. All the right decisions. And not only all the right decisions, as in I now understand what I'm looking at. I can pre-snap all of this. But the guts and the toughness. Never would call Jordan soft. But Jordan got hurt a lot early in his career. And so you would understand if he didn't want to take some shots because he's a guy that those shots have rendered on the sideline. He stood in on a couple of throws and took shots because he knew one more second, a half second, means the difference between a touchdown or a first down or an incomplete pass. And he took those shots, and he went on that year to take a lot of shots because he knew that's what was needed in the play. So Jordan grew up, got mentally tougher, obviously more proficient, understood the game better, when to tuck it and go and make a play because it has to be made here, when to get down, when to throw it away. He did everything better. I suspect he's even better this year, but because he has all the more in the way of weapons, and this is a balanced team that can really change their identity from Saturday to Saturday, I just wonder whether or not he'll have the opportunity to amass the right numbers to get to New York City. Real football people will know his importance. Real football people will know that part of the reason the run game is so successful for Florida State is the mere threat of Jordan Travis running the ball. He changes the math. So teams have to play you differently on defense because of what he's capable of, and that opens up the run game. See how much better we were in the run game with really a below-average passing game and an average-ass to below-average-ass offensive line. We still found a way to run the ball against everybody. A lot of that's Jordan. Also scheme, also the way they scheme it up with the extra hole. Yeah, they do things.
That's the other thing about not being able to see scrimmages, but only practices. And look, I'm not going to complain. Our media access policy is some of the best in the country, one of the best in the country. But it's hard to get a sense for how successful we can be running the football when you've got thud rules. You know, these plays are blown dead. Like, for example, I'm not going to give away any state secrets, Florida State secrets. They ran counter today. You might know that play. May have been successful a time or two or 25 against Miami last year.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it was. They ran it today, and it was literally a counter in the flow of what was going on, too. Like, oh, yeah, there it goes. And boom, it's a huge play. I don't know how big because Trey Benson is not going to be allowed to go full contact with either a linebacker or a safety in a one-on-one. But he could win that battle, and he could still be running and hit his head on the goalpost.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard to appreciate and get a sense for in a camp how successful that running game could be. It might be as good, if not better than the passing game that we have with Jordan Travis and these receivers. You just don't know yet. You just don't know. That offensive line is better. It's more athletic. We're looking to see if it can win at the point of attack straight up, inside, between the tackles. That's the only thing that's left. They can run counter till the cows come home. They can run outside zone. We know this. If they can add between the tackles, and you've got Jordan's legs, and you got a guy like Jaheim Bell who can lead the way for you, or Marquiston, that part of the offense could be the signature of what we do. It's just hard to know in camp, but you will know early on in LSU because we're going to test it.
Couple things here. Zaxby's is delicious. If you've not had Zaxby's, you really are cheating yourself in this life.
Indeed.
Now, you only have one go around here. Imagine if tomorrow you got sick and you were laying there thinking, my goodness, I never had Zaxby's. Get it together. Go get you a Zaxby's right now. One of the big chicken sandwiches. Or the platter. The platter's huge. It's a lot of Zaxby's, and that Zax sauce is good. And if you're in Tallahassee and you're thinking, you know, that message, it rings true. I could get sick tomorrow and never have had Zaxby's. That's a mistake on my part. Jeff's right. I'm going to get it tonight. Well, just know there are 53 Tallahassee Zaxby locations for you to choose from. So you're not far from a Zaxby's at any time.
One of our friends up at the corner pocket once upon a time said, how you feeling today? Didn't expect this answer. One word. Sad. Just like that. And it made me crack up. If you're feeling like that because maybe you don't get to go down to Orlando next weekend, you know what will make you feel better on a game day?
Zaxby's.
The platter. With the Texas toast,
Mm-hmm.
the crinkle cut fries. It'll make your day. You will no
Split
longer.
top bun too.
You will not be sad.
I told you many moons ago the hallway conversation with a certain salesman whose wife had just left him the night before.
This is the old AM days.
Oh, buddy, it's the best ever. I wish I could recreate it in a sitcom because it was so perfect. It took everything in my power not to laugh. I had to get back on the air, but I had coffee in my hand too, and I was trying not to spill it. I won't say his name because I think he's still around.
Yeah, please don't.
But how you doing, Jimmy? Not good. Oh, I'm sorry to hear it. What happened? My wife left me last night. Took the furniture. I got home. The house was empty.
I don't know that I ever heard that took the furniture.
Took the freaking furniture on his ass. He got home. Place was empty.
That is out of a television show.
It was awesome. And I went, And I had 30 seconds to get back on the air. I was racing down the hall with my coffee, and I go, all right, that's a tough one.
I believe that's a scene in Vice Principals.
It might be. Yeah, took the furniture from his ass. And the best, and he was dead serious, just looking at me like waiting for me to console him. I was like, well, I'm on the air. I'm so sorry. And I just ran down.
You know how those spot blocks are. 30 seconds.
I'm
ticking.
live. I'm the host. What do you want me to do? Wilson, I'll get to your question in a second.
You could have brought him some
delicious Zaxby's.
Just a platter the next day. Hey, buddy.
I should have said, you know what'll help you?
This platter's also sturdy enough you can sit on it.
You will not be able to watch your big screen TV that was taken from your house by your ex-wife or soon-to-be ex-wife, but you can eat this chicken sandwich while you stare at the wall. So Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
If you've been considering getting a new hot tub or upgrading your existing hot tub, now's the absolute best time to do it. Hot Spring Spas has the jets on full blast, and the prices right now have never been hotter. You can find huge savings at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas, and we mean huge. For a limited time, you can get up to $5,000 off in instant discounts and rebates, plus 60 months no interest financing for qualified buyers. You heard that right, $5,000 in discounts. And that's not all. When you buy a hot spring spa from Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas, you'll get a free consultation to determine the best placement in your yard for installation, a free accessory of your choice, and install can be completed in just a matter of days. It's the most aggressive rebate program that's ever been available to buyers from Hot Spring Spas. So stop by Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas on Greer Road today to check out their 12,000 square foot showroom with over 50 hot tubs on site. If you're ready to relax, Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas is ready to show you how.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Tax-free days are over everywhere but Fulmer's, that is. Now through Labor Day, we're going to pay the sales tax on everything you're buying at Fulmer's. And to keep it simple, Fulmer's will pay the sales tax on everything at both locations: bikes, TVs, lawn equipment, tools, watches, jewelry, laptops, and Apple products. If it's in our store, you'll buy it and pay no tax. You'll pay no tax on many items that are already marked down, some as much as 70% off. Hurry to either Fulmer's location and pay no tax through the end of the month.
Fulmer's, more than you might expect.
With 2 great locations.
For over 45 years, Fulmer's has been serving the greater Tallahassee area.
Pawn loans, paying cash for just about anything of value, sales, low check cashing fees, new and used firearm sales, and more.
Throughout the years, we have made many great friends, serving thousands of great customers. To all of you, thanks for making our life so much fuller.
If you haven't seen us in a while, we invite you to drop by and check us out. Fulmer's, more than you might expect, with 2 great locations.
Got chronic joint pain but want to avoid steroids and surgery? Take some advice from pro football legend Emmitt Smith. Call QC Kinetics.
Let QC Kinetics help you improve your quality of life with biologic therapies that get your body to repair and restore damaged tissue.
These exciting new regenerative treatments from local medical professionals can help your body heal itself with lasting pain relief.
Trust me, you want to avoid surgery if you can. Check out these biologic treatments to see what your options are.
QC Kinetics, restorative, regenerative solutions with no downtime, no surgery, no drugs.
I'm talking about joint pain we all can relate to in your knees, your shoulders, your hips, and your lower back. They'll get you feeling good again.
Get relief now.
What are you waiting on? Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmitt Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics, 850-391-4280. That's 850-391-4280. 850-391-4280.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSU Home.
Really?
Yeah, well.
Oh, boy.
I'm not going to say anything more. I'll
That must be extra spicy.
It's just, I just saw it as we were coming on the air and went, oh, no. It reminds me of something that you discovered one time and told me and Matthew about the next day when we came to work at the old place. And you were like, check this out. And we were like, oh. It's one of those kinds of things. It's one of those kinds of things.
No.
Where you're going to be like, really? Yeah. Let's take care of some business here. Let's take care of some.
What up, AW?
Let's take care of some business. Let's first talk about you brought up Bellying Up. We are going to be doing Bellying Up again. Relaunching Bellying Up. For a lot of you don't even know about it. We only did a few episodes.
10 minutes.
What?
No, I said it existed for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So Bellying Up wasn't around very long. We did a few episodes, maybe 2, 3. But it's a podcast. It'll be with Tom and I mostly. Sometimes it'll just be me. Sometimes it'll just be me interviewing somebody. But most of the time it's going to be me and Tom. And it's a kind of a not safe for work. I would say that. I mean, we don't go out of our way, but I'm not going to hold anything back. And
correct.
You guys know how I talk. So there's that. And it's a conversation.
Certainly James P. knows how you talk.
And it's a conversation. It could be about a lot of things, but it's definitely, for grown-ups, and it's not always sports. A lot of times it will be sports. This first one it'll be about FSU LSU, and it'll be a candid conversation that Tom and I have about Florida State LSU and about this camp and our observations about the team. And they're going to be able to find it on the
it'll
podcast
be on the
feed.
Yeah.
It'll be on the feed.
Mm-hmm.
But it will have the, whatever
language warning.
Yeah, requisite, so don't listen to it when your kids are in the car. And also, if your sensibilities are easily offended, then it may not be for you. But if you're a grown-up and you can handle things like a normal conversation between other grown-ups, even if you disagree with them, then it'll be enjoyable. And we're going to be relaunching that. I look forward to it. And you'll get your first dose of Bellying Up, the new renewed version. I guess we'll do it this weekend. We're talking about doing it this weekend. Probably release it Monday, maybe. So we'll let you know as the week goes along. And we look forward to that. And we want to thank the Battles Inn for sponsoring that. That's going to be awesome. We're going to have a good time. You and I are also about to start doing Wednesday night shows on YouTube.
That is correct. A Wednesday night interactive hour from 7 to 8 p.m. Not today.
Yeah, 1 week from
week.
today. 1 week from today.
Yes, we have.
Yeah,
we did this in the past. Actually, I think it was in the off season where schedules prohibited us from being on live from 1 to 3, but we wanted to knock an hour out, and we liked it so much that we said, "Hey, why don't we run this in prime time on the channel?"
It was fun. Yeah. So we're going to do this again every Wednesday during the season. Tom and I will join you guys. Anybody that wants to join us Wednesday nights, 7:00, from 7 to 8 p.m. It'll be live on the YouTube feed. You guys jump on in the chat.
Warchant TV only, and then the pod feed. But yes, right. Warchant TV only.
We'll have conversation. That'll be every Wednesday. We look forward to that as well, and appreciate it. By the way, the Battles Inn has a golf tournament the weekend of the game, Florida State LSU, over in Orlando, and they're offering right now. It's the Battles Inn season kickoff golf tournament. You have an opportunity to play in this. You're going to want to use the promo code TBE50. That is TBE50 for 50% off your group of 4. So what are we doing here? That tournament is Saturday, September the 2nd. Signups begin at 7:30 a.m. with a 9 a.m. shotgun start. This is a good way to get involved with the Battles Inn and do some good. Join the family that is the Battles Inn. Go to thebattlesinn.com to learn more. Champions Gate, by the way, is a national golf course in Orlando. It is a phenomenal golf course. So what better way to usher in what's going to be an awesome weekend than to play with the fine folks and your fellow Noles that are part of the Battles Inn. Promo code TBE50. You save 50% off your group of 4. It is the Battles Inn season kickoff for golf. It includes VIP admission to an evening event and tickets to Madison Social's tailgate on Sunday. So you get, this is all encompassing. You're going to play a great round of golf on a Saturday morning at a spectacular course. You're going to pay 50% of what everybody else paid. How about them apples? Let's go get in there. And then you're going to have access to the VIP admission to an evening event and the tickets to the Madison Social tailgate on Sunday. So you're all good to go. Make it happen. TBE50. All right.
Also of note, if you are on the chat right now, there's a direct link to the sign-up page. So you don't even need to go hunting. It's right there for you.
Made it easy for you. Wilson asked this before we went to break. Jeff, you've talked a lot about Mike's maturity. Do you think he's mentally capable of a season where every damn team he plays has FSU circled on the schedule? Any moment, it is Wednesday, isn't it? Any moment you see being too big. Thanks, Wilson. So when I've spoken of Mike's maturity in the past, and what I've said, and I'm trying to be careful about this, he was overly emotional after the LSU win. It was almost as if he had never won a big game, and it's okay at Memphis to be that way, but Florida State's a different deal. We expect to win games like that. We expect to be in games that are a seismic tilt in the larger picture in college football. We expect to be in prime time against the best teams in the country. We expect to win national championships. And you'll note that when you are that kind of a program, Nick Saban doesn't do backflips over a win against somebody who's ranked in the top 5. He expects to beat their ass. In fact, he's perturbed if they don't beat their ass, and it's close. So I just said that Mike was young, that it was different for him. It's a big jump from Memphis to Florida State, and that moving forward, I'm going to want him to comport himself a little bit more composed in those moments of success. I've always thought he does a very good job from day one, from Jump Street. He's done and this part is mature. He's done a very good job of handling disappointments. He's done a very good job of handling defeat or areas where Florida State was simply outmanned. That faraway stare while we're taking a beating against Miami the one year or Louisville the one year. He's a guy. Was it Louisville that game?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was Louisville. So when he came to the conclusion, we don't have the horses. We're not there yet. This is part of a process, and we're outmanned right now. He handled those things very well. I thought the camera caught him in candid situations where he was doing a lot of thinking, and it was introspective. He wasn't lashing out at players who were making mistakes. He wasn't playing the results. He wasn't frustrated about a kid not being able to do something. He handled it well. He knew, there's just a lot more work to do, and tonight's not the night to get this turned around. I'm going to do the best I can here tonight, but we're outmatched. And I really admired that about him. The other aspect of what I talk about with Mike when I talk about his maturity levels, and again, I was just talking about handling success and handling end-of-game situations, some of that red zone stuff where I'm like, I think that his play calling will mature there. The way he handles those moments will mature. I'm confident of it. But I don't want people to misconstrue what I was saying, because I think he's done an amazing job coming from Memphis at his age and dealing with a reclamation project, dealing with a locker room that was completely shattered
during a pandemic.
I think he's done a remarkable job of staying the course in the wake of bitter defeats and setbacks that would shake you to your core. It doesn't get worse than Jacksonville State. And he did not in any way crack. He was mad. He rightfully apologized to the fan base after that game. He knows, and he knew in the moment, that he handled the prep that week horribly, that the decision to play two quarterbacks and flippity-floppity and all that nonsense, that was not taking your opponent serious, and you paid a dear price for doing so. This team was not mature enough to handle the kind of experimentation that they were going through. He thought they were. That was a miscalculation. I think in some ways he apologized, and I don't want to speak for him. Maybe should have stepped in there and said something to Adam late about what we were in defensively, especially when the play before it got exposed, they just didn't hit on it. So I think he realized in that moment, I screwed this up. But he never let it shake him up to the point where he deviated from the way he believed he had to build this program or from the messaging to the players. And I thought, in retrospect, that was really smart. It showed that this wasn't some fly-by-night philosophy, but rather something he believed to his core, that there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. And it's about going to work. And he says it all the time, right? Let's go to work. Put in the work, you'll get the just due. Maybe it doesn't happen as quickly as you'd like. Maybe it's frustrating along the way, but I promise you, hard work and service. He says it all the time. Hard work and service. Let's get a little bit better today than we were yesterday. And he's right about that. And he's been right about that. But it's easy to get redirected, or it's easy to panic when you're walking that walk, talking that talk, and it's not working, especially when you have a huge setback. You could take shortcuts, and he did not. So I think he's a very good leader. I think he's done a very good job of adopting the new rules to help him out and find a way to circumvent what is an even longer process in most situations to rebuilding back to a place where you can win 10 games. The transfer portal came along at the best possible time for him, but it was up to him to recognize what that opportunity was and to take advantage of it. You know, you look around at some of these coaches who have not done a good job in the portal, who have been resistant to the portal, who've seen it as an affront to the process that they've embraced. Those guys are either going to get left in the dust or were easily caught. Mike recognized that there were deficiencies on this roster and that a lot of the kids that were here that he did not bring here were good kids who were working hard, but they were not Florida State caliber players. So what he did was replace them with better players that were available from elsewhere. But he did so with a set of standards that he held them responsible for. So they had to adhere to what those principles and what those standards were. So it wasn't just that this good player is available, I'm going to bring him in to replace a player who's not Florida State caliber. It was, there's a really good player available. I'm going to bring him in to replace this player who's not Florida State caliber. But before I do, I need him to understand he has to be part of the solution to flipping this locker room around. And it's not just by being a good football player. It's by being somebody who buys in and leads with what it is we're teaching and implementing. And by getting those better players who then also bought into that form of leadership, they adapted to it, adopted it, and passed it on to the next group of kids. And that is why your locker room is coherent, cohesive. It is why it is as close as it is, despite all of those transfers that will now make up the bulk of what you're doing to be successful. That is really, really impressive, and it deserves an awful lot of praise. I think comprehensively, Mike Norvell and his staff have done an amazing job. Is he a perfect coach? There isn't one. Has he made mistakes? Everybody does. Is he under a different set of, I think, watchful eyes and pressures this year? I do. This is the next chapter. You had to go from, crawling on your hands and knees to being able to walk to being able to run. Well, we quickly went from hands and knees to being able to crawl to being able to run. Now you're sprinting amongst the best of the best. Can you compete and can you sustain it year in and year out? Last year was the first time that you ran. Now I need you to win at the highest levels while there are expectations to do so. And then after you do it, guess what? It doesn't get easier. You got to do it again because that's what it means to be great. And that's what the standard is at Florida State University. So you're not a victim ever of your success. You are the one who sets the bar that high. And if you happen to reach it, great. Now you got to sustain it. In many ways, that's harder. I think he would admit, and we'll only know at the end of his time here, that the climb, to some degree, is easier than the sustaining of excellence. This is why Nick Saban gets the praise that he does. Well, that and winning 7 national titles, 6 of them at Alabama. We start with the hardware, right? But when you win to that level, and Kirby Smart now is that guy. Kirby has surpassed Nick Saban. You win back-to-back national titles, you are the man in the toughest conference in all the land. And now there are a different set of expectations that in many ways cannot be met. They cannot be met at Georgia. What are you going to do? Win 10 national titles in a row? At some point, you're going to come back down to earth. But how do you handle those moments and setbacks where the expectations are unreasonably high? Mike has a chance to get us to that place. This team's really good. I don't think they're going to win the national championship this year, but I think they could win the ACC, and I think they could make the college football playoff. And that alone will bring on a new set of circumstances and standards by which they have to live up to. That makes it a good thing that Mike Norvell has never really wavered from the core principles that he believes in that build a program of success. That's where we sit. This will be fascinating for all of us to go along on this ride. We can all theorize about what's going to happen in this game against LSU. We have opinions about why it's going to happen. That's the best we can do. It's a best guess kind of thing. They got to play the game. I don't know. What if you fumble 4 times? You lose. It doesn't really matter how good your camp was, how much better your team is. You lose. Now, how would you handle that? What if you go out and win 56-10? How do you handle that? It's week 1. I don't really know what LSU is, and I don't really know what FSU is. None of us really do. Each team takes on their own personality throughout the course of the season, and they're one of one. Because the next year, that team, I don't care how many starters they return, it's a different team. You're going to lose a key guy here or there, or you're going to gain, whatever it might be. But you're never the same team twice. So those standards that you make everybody live up to and that you have stuck by have to be the thing that guides you through all the trials and tribulations, all that stuff, right? That's where we're at. But what a fun time to be rooting for and invested in Florida State and for me to cover it, because now I get to watch them take what I think will be yet another step. And that is fun. We've done this before, Tom. We did this with Jimbo. We did this with the Florida State 2013 national championship team. We went along for the ride. We remember 2009. We remember the weaknesses and where they had to get so much better. And we remember the things that we liked about those teams that came up just short, or the things that we didn't like from teams that were dominant, and everything in between. Like, we did not like the 2014 team that went undefeated. We didn't like them. They went undefeated. They could never take that away in the regular season. They won the conference title. They were part of the 29 straight wins that we hang our hat on, but they weren't real likable. 2013 was dominant, likable, and destroyed, eviscerated the vast majority of the people they faced, and it was the culmination of a lot of hard work and the ups and downs along the way. We're on that ride again. Once you get past the, we still suck conversation, it gets so much easier to do this because now it's just degrees of excellence.
Yeah, I think with Jimbo, often before Jameis arrived, there was the Jimbo special game. And that was a learning moment, and it helped them get to a different place. But even still, in the 2013 championship season, you had a Jimbo special in the national title game. We don't treat it as such because you win. But that 2013 title game mirrored the rest of the 29 straight wins. The rest of them from that point on, they all kind of look like that game against Auburn, where you have to rally at the end. The Auburn game was a failure because you didn't change your signals. I mean, how simple is that?
Dumb.
For a man who's paranoid in all facets of what he did when he was at Florida State, How is that the blind spot? Which is crazy to me. But there were times where you could see that we were right up against it, and either we lost the game, 2012 NC State among some others, Virginia homecoming, and then there are others where you escape. Jimbo was elated when we won the national title in Pasadena. He was also relieved. If you look at him coming off the sidelines, I see both emotions out of him. Joy and relief. Because he knew at 21-3 how close they were to letting it all slip away. I think that same emotion was in Mike Norvell for LSU last year. There was relief. And it wasn't just because of the game itself. We should have won this thing by 2 or 3 scores. We didn't, and he feels that, sure. But he knows how hard of a path it was at Florida State to get to that moment where we've done the hard part. We have done the hard part. These kids have bought in. We've been through a pandemic, a loss to Jacksonville State, losing seasons, all of these things, believing in Jordan Travis, transfer portal, patching things together. I mean, in a novel way. It had never been put together like this. And then we control the LSU game. We're making our statement, and oh my God, they've got a 2-point conversion if they want it. And if they take the 2-point chance, we probably lose this football game. Washing all over him. And you got more time to consider it, too, because of the replay review for the untimed down that gave you an extra 5 minutes to consider all of the things, how fragile this is. He had built it to this place that it hadn't gone yet. He knew he could get there, but how fragile everything underneath him was. And it was that close to cracking. So the moment that the extra point gets blocked, I think it's oh my God, okay, because I don't know how I come back if we lose this game. I think that's what that emotion was. I don't know how we come back from this. If we get to this point and we blow it, how do we get back?
Well, he knows that would have been on him.
Right.
And he knows that's tough. That's a tough press conference, man. These coaches are oftentimes in a terrible situation. I always argue for real candor. You know, I think that's where I did respect the, hey, I'm sorry, this will never happen again approach to Jacksonville State. I mean, you don't have an option here. It can't never happen again, or you will deserve to be fired on the spot, period.
And all lessons have not been learned yet. NC State last year is a blemish, even after
it's a huge blemish. But that was also oddly a blemish on Jordan Travis. He was immature and petulant in that game. And he grew up in a hurry afterwards. They must have had to come to Jesus because that can never happen from your unquestioned leader. That body language can't happen, you know, and I get it. You know, sometimes guys don't play well around you and it's pissing you off because you're doing everything in your power and you're putting the ball on them. They're dropping it, and et cetera, but can't do it. That comes with the territory of being a quarterback. Actually, oddly, nobody understood it better than Jameis on the field and dealing with teammates and deflecting from praise and giving it to them after games, even though he was the genius, you know, unleashing the beast week in and week out. He understood it. Where he got in trouble was the stuff away from the field. But yeah, it's hard. It's not easier. Everybody would do it. It's really difficult. But I think the NC State game was a byproduct of that. He had to grow up in a hurry. And he did. Thankfully, he did. And we watched it all happen.
The Florida game was the answer.
Yeah. By the way, that's why we're all so invested, because if it's easy for somebody and they never make mistakes and they go right through it, you can't even relate to that. Nobody knows what that is. Nobody's life is that way. So when they do, and you see it right before your eyes and you're disappointed, and then they learn from it and they pick themselves up and they're better because of it and they go win a big game, you go, there it is, my man. Good on you. Because we can all relate to that. That's what we want to do for ourselves and our kids, everybody.
And now it feels like this year, maybe not the revenge tour. I know you've wavered back and forth on that, but it's okay. Now finish the play. You've done it all. There's been a lot of pain, adversity. Jordan, you were thinking about either changing positions or quitting the game. And now look at you. You're one of the favorites for the Heisman Trophy this year. The offense is loaded. The line is better. Full synergy and continuity between your head coach, your offensive coordinator, and you. You got depth. You got a better defense. Finish the play. Finish the job. That's what this year's about. Maybe not revenge tour, but it's finish the job. We've come so far.
Well, you've earned it. You worked hard, yeah.
And you've got the tools. It's not like you lost 7 starters from year over year and you're still there as the quarterback. Everybody's back. Finish the job.
You want to answer Brett's question before we go to break? You can do the technical aspect.
Well, we're not going to put the host on the right half of the screen. That doesn't make sense.
I agree with that. I just thought maybe I didn't know if
we could flip the studio room, I guess. I don't know.
I'll come back, wrap it up momentarily.
Your local news now.
2 men are dead in what police are investigating as homicides after shooting on Dade Street Tuesday night. The 2 men were found with gunshot wounds at the 1100 block of Dade Street near the Lawrence Gregory Community Center just before 9:30 p.m., according to the Tallahassee Police Department. One man died on the scene and the other died after being transported to a hospital. The shooting occurred north of Florida State University near the Frenchtown area in the heart of the capital city. No arrests have been made, but investigators are following leads. No suspect description is available at this time. This remains an open and active investigation, and updates will be provided as more information becomes available. Tallahassee Fire Department confirmed they responded to 3122 Dick Wilson Boulevard Tuesday afternoon, where a car burst into flames at a Sam's Club gas station. TFD said they put out the fire quickly. Employees working at the station shut off the fuel supply and no one was hurt. There was some damage to the fuel pump in the overhang. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A heat advisory continues until 8 p.m. tonight. Slight chance for scattered storms this afternoon. Otherwise, lots of sunshine. High of 99, winds out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows around 74 tonight. Slight chance for scattered storms. High of 96 tomorrow. Lots of sunshine. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 98.
This is Kyle, service manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry bucks to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186.
So everybody knows, Eddie, that you are a spectacular cook. Of course they know that. If they go into Bumpa's, the food is always good. I mean, everything on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Everything at Gordo's is delicious. I always, of course, get the bungalow chungla, as I call it.
The panko lechon, Jeff.
Is that what is the pork?
The panko lechon, Jeff.
Okay, the bungalow chungla. It's delicious. All these things, all the items, everything you do, a master cook. But, sir, I would ask you, what is a skill that you possess that you're particularly proud of that nobody would know and that you could share with us here?
Growing hair, Jeff. Growing hair.
You're an asshole. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Let me remind you of Power Mill, sponsor for Probables. We always appreciate them. And they are there to help your kids, even young adults. Powering performance for baseball and softball. Training program that equips the athletes of all ages and skill levels with the specific skills they need to excel on and off the field. That's a good thing. Again, for softball and baseball. 27 alumni in the majors, et cetera. Good thing. That's really quite amazing, actually. That's a lot. Power Mill Training Academy, powermillsports.com.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Buccos trail to the Cardinals currently. Damn it, I wanted to sweep. We'll see. Maybe we'll come back. It's going to delay 5-2 Cardinals. That game was started by Luis Ortiz and Zach Thompson. Cubs Tigers, that game's 4-0 Cubbies. Jamison Tyon and Tariq Skubal. We got a 0-0 game between Seattle and the White Sox. George Kirby, Michael Kopech. Milwaukee leads the Twins 2-1. They're in the bottom of the second. That game is Kenta Maeda and Corbin Burns. Royals, A's, Cole Reagans from right here in Tallahassee. Adrian Martinez goes for the Athletics. Giants, Phillies, Alex Cobb, Michael Lorenzen. We got the Reds and the Angels, Andrew Abbott, Shohei Ohtani. Good to baseball. Marlins, Padres, Sandy Alcantara, Seth Lugo. I still think Alcantara is more fun to say. Rockies, Rays, Austin Gomber, Aaron Savale. How about that situation with Wander Franco? Woo. Yikes, that ain't good. That's a toughie. Blue Jays, Orioles, Kevin Gausman, and Dean Creamer. We got the Nationals and the Yankees, Mackenzie Gore, Luis Severino, Dodgers, Guardians, Clayton Kershaw, Xavier Curry. Great name. Mets, Braves. Is this who decides the series here?
A little rubber game.
Hey, now. Jose Quintana, that creep can roll, man. Charlie Morton, Mud! Red Sox, Astros, Chris Sale, Jose Fitty. Reds, Angels, TBD, and Reed Detmers. And that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump.
Did you hear about the giveaway for Wander Franco? This is not a joke. This is legitimate.
As soon as you said that, I was like, well,
yeah.
I don't know that we need to go down this road.
So I was told we were at practice last week, and Ira and Corey told me, and this is, again, not a joke.
This is phenomenal.
They had a T-shirt giveaway for kids. And the ages for the kids for the Wander Franco, 14 and under. Could you imagine being a part of that marketing department? The T-shirts! No!
Yeah, that's a toughie. If you're a 14-year-old girl, come meet Wander Franco. Oh, no, I don't know. We won't come meet Wander. Good work out of you. Good job, Director Matthew. Be well, everybody. Have a great night. We're another day closer to football. Peace.